I can assure you he is truly a very sick boy.
I think you mean sick girl.
Hi,
Hey, how are you, Ashley?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Pretty decent.
Good. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I got
Um,
a lot going on, so probably a good amount to talk about.
okay, so I always start just like people who don't know, like quick introduction. Who are you?
Yeah, so I'm currently a senior at Rowan University. I'm graduating in May.
Okay.
And we're creating the world's first electrolyte oral pouch. So
Okay.
it's basically this small pouch, kind of like a nicotine pouch, but no nicotine, all electrolytes. So you just
Okay.
take this little pouch and you place it between your lip and your gums, either on like the top or the bottom, and it's
Yeah.
able to absorb into your bloodstream really fast. So
Okay.
if you were to drink an electrolyte drink, it would have to go through your stomach, your liver, your small intestine, and then it would finally get absorbed.
Yeah.
And with the pouch, it's able to go directly into the bloodstream through your cells in like the inside lining of your mouth. So it ends
Okay.
up being in, I would say like peak absorption is about like 10 minutes as opposed to like the 40 to 45-minute range that you might get from a drink.
Yeah.
So that's like what we're working on right now.
That's so cool. And did I saw, did you start it because your sister has POTS? Did I freeze?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like when the moment kind of clicked for me, was we were going to Portugal on vacation, and we were in the airport, and we just got off, and it was like when all the passport lines were like really messed up.
Yeah.
So we ended up waiting in like a 3-hour line, and we just got off the plane. So like my sister didn't have like any electrolytes. She didn't have like she had water, but like
Yeah.
water's only going to do so much for you. Um, and at the time, I was kind of like developing this idea. It originally started as like a multivitamin that I was going to do, but there's a lot of complex kind of science that went into the balancing of all that.
Yeah.
Um, and that's when like the moment kind of clicked, and I was like, what if she had electrolytes in a pouch that she could carry around wherever she wanted? And then maybe if we're standing in this line, instead of having to lay down on the ground with her feet up on her suitcase, like
Yeah.
she would be able to just throw in one of these pouches and like at least survive the line for as long as possible.
Yeah. No, it's a great idea. Because I definitely have been in that situation where I'm like, I have either I have a pouch and I don't have water, or I have water and I don't have a pouch. Um,
Mhm,
and I also think like a lot of times the pouches, if you drink too many, they kind of make you sick.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
like it definitely is. I love that idea of just like you can just have it on the go and you don't have to have anything else with you.
Mhm,
Um, so for this, like, I guess it's technically, I mean, it's marketed towards like POTS people, right? But
mhm.
could people without POTS use it who just want more electrolytes?
Yeah, so we're gonna start with like POTS patients because like to me that's my personal reason, and
Yeah, yeah,
like
absolutely.
if there's anybody who needs sodium fast, it's POTS
Yes.
patients.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our like starting market. But I'm also an exercise science major, so
Oh,
there's
cool.
some applications that we could have to athletics. We probably want to like balance out the electrolytes a little bit more so it's not as heavy on sodium.
Yeah.
But for like marathon runners, for people that are playing soccer and can't necessarily go to the side and like get a sip of Gatorade whenever they want,
Yeah.
it'd be an option to keep their electrolytes up.
Yeah. That's great. And like, is this sorry, I'm having brain fog today, so I might forget a word I'm trying to say. It's my bad POTS
So
symptom.
good.
Um, do you like, is this like a long-term plan, or do you, because I guess like I mean it's crazy that you started this and you're still in college. Like, I guess what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of all in on this. I have like my
Okay.
part-time job at Vitamin Shop. And actually right now I'm doing my internship, but we worked out a deal with the exercise science department and
Oh,
we're
cool.
partnering with it's a POTS PT that's relatively close. She's in Pennsylvania, kind of near Philly.
Oh, nice.
Um, and So my internship is creating a research study to basically test the effects of our supplement on POTS patients
Oh, that's so cool.
during like
That's
an
really cool.
exercise test. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So far, it's been a great learning experience. Like I've been able to
Yeah.
go into the like PT office and like talk to all the patients and like kind of observe what she does on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Um, so it's definitely been super helpful and like helps my full understanding. Like, because I have my sister's opinions, of course, but we
Yeah.
took like probably the last year talking to over 100 POTS patients on just
That's
like
insane.
their experiences, like what day-to-day life, and especially like their diagnosis story, because that's like what's so interesting to me is that a lot of them take so long. It's like
Yeah.
a multi-year process. I think yours was
Yeah.
similar. I was like, I think I saw that video.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably had POTS most of my life. Like I look back and I'm like I used to play sports and I was in really great shape and I would try to do laps and I would like pass out.
Hmm.
Um, but then when I got COVID, it like flared it to a point where I couldn't like pass it off as something else. But then even then it took me like 4 years to get a actual diagnosis after like thousands of tests. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and like so many people go misdiagnosed or
Hmm.
uh but yeah, but then like you're kind of just thrown out into it and you're like they're like take salt, take water, go to
Yeah.
PT. And then there's just so many options. I don't know. It's like it's just like this really weird like there's not really anything to do
Yeah.
besides
It's kind of just like, oh, like at least you have an answer now, but
yeah,
there's not really anything you can do about it other than like eating a lot of salt and
yeah,
trying your best to do like whatever activities you can.
yeah. But
Which
the
is so
PT is
different.
really interesting. The
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah,
I've
I've
been like getting exercise programs and stuff, and it's very interesting.
yeah, I've been in POTS PT for almost 4 years now. And well, maybe 3 years. And it was like, I don't know what it's like out there, but for me, it started off and it was like, can you like close your eyes and walk with your hands up in the air?
Mhm.
And I like couldn't do it. And then it's like you finally get to the bike, and then I just barely got to being able to walk on the treadmill. But um, yeah, no, it's crazy what it does to the body. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, and like I guess from my exercise science like background, one of like the main things we learned was that one of the chronic effects of like continuous exercise during like a program is that it raises blood volume. So it's like super interesting how you can kind of
Yeah,
like not like get rid of your symptoms, but get it to a point where you can almost like manage it. Like some of the
yeah.
success stories from that are really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if I don't do my exercise within like 2 days, I'm pretty crashed. And then I feel like I
Uh,
have to work back up. But yeah, it is. I feel like it's like my punishment in life. I didn't work out enough as a kid. And now it's like the only thing I can do to feel better. Um, but this is so cool. So okay, so you take it like what was it hard to like what's the process like to make something like this? Because I'm sure there's a lot of like
Mhm.
health hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah, so um I guess for reference, we started this it was pretty much a year ago from today. We did this competition at our school and pitched what we thought was a good pitch. It wasn't a good pitch. But now it's a lot better. But kind of like figuring out all the steps. Like I don't know if I would have started if I knew all the steps that I had to go through. It's
Okay.
like a good thing that like I just kind of said, okay, we're gonna do this now and go for it. But we spent, I think it was, we were pretty fortunate because I think it was only like 4 months. We talked to 5 or 6 different manufacturers. A lot of them was like you had to buy like 50,000 and 100,000 tins
Yes.
for them to like, even consider you.
Yeah.
We got super fortunate in finding this manufacturer who just started. I think they started like 2 months before we had the idea.
Yeah.
Um, and their whole thing was they're based in the US and their whole thing was like the nutraceutical pouches, like the supplement pouches
Oh
that
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
mixed. Um, Now they're doing some crazy work with like some really big companies. We got to visit down there because we went
Yeah.
to TCU's pitch competition in Texas. We drove there from New Jersey, so that was an
Jeez.
adventure.
That's a long
Uh,
drive.
yeah, it was a while. Um, but they're down in Dallas, so we got to stop there and like walking through the facility and like seeing everything that was like being made and like actually conceptualizing that like what was
Yeah.
in my head a year ago is like coming to life now is like kind of a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
But the manufacturer has honestly been great. We pretty much worked with them. We came up with like the formula and stuff. That was me
Yeah.
and one of my co-founders. And then we sent it to them, and they have these flavor experts that are really good.
Yeah.
Because when they sent us the samples back, like one of my biggest fears was that it was gonna like taste like there was literally just like salt sitting in your mouth.
Yeah.
Um, but when we got the samples back, like our first flavor is lemon lime, and to me it tastes like the lemon heads candies,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Okay.
the circular ones. Um, and like when you take a sip of water, it kind of tastes like lemon water. So like
Yeah.
the actual experience of it was a lot better than I like thought it was gonna go, which
Yeah.
usually doesn't happen. It's usually the
Yeah.
other way around.
No, that's great because sometimes you drink like uh, I mean, I won't name companies, but like you'll drink someone's brand and you're like, oh, it tastes like I'm drinking ocean water.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of them too, like have a lot of artificial sweetener and stuff, which like I don't know, for
Yeah,
me it's
that
not
was
good.
one of the biggest things. I think that was one of our like earliest videos that did well was asking what sweeteners like people couldn't tolerate,
Yeah.
which was honestly not something I thought about before we put out that video, but then it did
Yeah.
like 500 comments just like saying different stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is like a crazy experiment.
Yeah. What
Um,
do you sweeten yours with,
so
if you can
what?
say?
Oh yeah, I can say it. So what we found was a lot of people couldn't tolerate a high amount of like, especially the sugar alcohols,
Hmm.
like xylitol, that type of stuff,
Yeah.
especially when you're ingesting it. There was some people that didn't like stevia, some people that only wanted stevia, and then like once we kind of like did all the research on that, we came to the conclusion that stevia, when you put it in a drink, is like very different from when you put it in a pouch because like
Oh,
you need a good amount of it when you put it in a drink. In
yeah.
like the little pouch, it's like so little that it almost doesn't make a difference.
Oh, okay.
So when we sent out samples to everyone, that was like one of our questions was like, did you feel any like anything in your gut, like any kind
Yeah.
of digestive problems? Because I know that's like a huge issue for POTS patients with electrolytes.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we came to that and we use, I think it's sucralose, just like
Nice.
in a small amount. So it keeps us sugar free. Um, the taste is pretty good. And yeah, as far as like the sampling we've done now, there's not been any like negative effects from the sweeteners we used.
Good.
Um,
Yeah,
if
that's
there
great.
are, there's always room to move into other ones. There's plenty of sweeteners, but
Yeah, I mean, you
our
can't make, I mean, there's
focus
POTS
is
is POTS is so different from person to person. You can't like
mhm.
make everyone happy with
Yeah,
it. That's really cool. Yeah, does your sister use it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten her a couple different samples. That's also one of the videos that did really well on our page was
Yeah.
just me and her sitting in the car when I gave her her first sample. Um,
Yeah.
and like with her, she's a little mean
Is she
sometimes.
older or younger?
She's younger than me.
Okay.
She's 4 years younger than me. She's a freshman in college.
Okay.
Um, but you can very much like tell in her face if she likes something or not.
Yeah.
So I was like a little bit scared to give it to her. But she was like really pleasantly surprised by it. and like
Yeah.
surprised that you couldn't taste the salt, especially. Like that's
Yeah.
what everyone has been saying is it's kind of crazy how you can't really taste the salt until you like keep it in for like 30 or 40 minutes, then you like
Yeah.
start to taste it a little bit. But um so far the taste recommendations and like reviews have been really good.
Good. Yeah. And I mean, I saw it on are you guys doing pre-sale right now or can you buy it right now?
Yeah, we're doing pre-sale right now. We actually just placed our full manufacturing order. We got enough
Nice.
pre-sales to be able to place that. So I believe it's 8 to 10 weeks, and then we will have the product in hand. The way we kind of did our pre-orders was like we wanted to gauge whether people would like actually be interested and buy it. So we
Yeah.
did like people would purchase the tins, and
Yeah.
we would basically just like hold their like payment information.
Yeah.
So then worst case scenario, we would just refund everyone if we didn't have enough money to get the full order, but we
Yeah.
passed
Yeah. You
that
want to see how
threshold.
much
So
before you pay for all of that.
yeah. And then so we'll be once we get those all those tins in, we'll be shipping them out of my friend's basement and
Nice.
sending out all the pre-orders. So it'll
Yeah.
be chaotic, but it'll be very
No,
exciting.
that's great. I don't sell them right now, but I used to sell Pods pouches, and I didn't think that anybody would buy them. And I did like a video without having any product, and it like was like my first video that went big. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden, I had this like horrible website and hundreds of orders, and I was like, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
um, and then eventually, like I kind of started to figure it out. And then I just got really busy, so I stopped doing it for right now. But it is so much work and it's kind of scary because you don't want to have too much product. You don't want to have no
Mhm.
product. But you're right. It is good to not know how hard it is because no one would start without
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. If someone sat me down and said, all right, this is everything you're gonna have to go through in the next year and you're gonna have
Yeah.
to be prepared for all of it, I would be like, yeah, there's no way. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm doing that. But
Yeah.
now we're at a point where we are way too deep in to
Yeah.
even like
You have to
consider turning around.
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so exciting. And it's so cool. I mean, it's so cool that you guys started this and like I mean, my siblings see me have POTS and they're like, she'll be fine in 10 minutes. Like, she's fine. But that's so cool. I mean, like, what's something you like want people to know about it? If you could, if like, I guess if you had like a 2 second, like a 2 minute pitch, why
Mhm.
should people pick this over other brands?
Yeah. I think our whole thing is like really behind our mission. Like when we came up with the idea, it as an exercise science person, like it would be very easy to turn around and sell to this mass market of
For sure.
athletes. But when we really like took it down like granular on what our products could benefit people with,
Yeah.
that's where we landed on pots. And like even the influencers that we've been able to work with have been like so helpful, and
Yeah.
like just seeing how many just like normal people will like see us and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to help you out. Like, um, and like our whole thing is creating awareness, but also maintaining like the positive mentality of it. Because when we talk to all these influencers, there's a lot of them that like said there's two sides of the chronic illness like community where there's
Yeah.
one side that's super uplifting and like you can do it, like you can get past whatever, and then there's this other side that's kind of like my condition is worse than yours and I have it worse than you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we wanted to specifically cater to just like the positive aspects of it because I think even like that mentality as a POTS patient or an athlete and just like being able to be confident in what you're doing
Yeah.
and have something that'll help you out to be confident in what you're doing is like one of our main things. Um,
Yeah.
so like
I think that's great.
I guess further than just the effect of the supplement,
Yeah.
another thing that I have observed with Kaya, my sister, is that if you have this chronic illness that you're constantly kind of scared of having this flare up in public where you feel terrible, And then
Yeah.
you go out in public, and the only thing on your mind is whether you're gonna have a flare up.
Yeah.
It like creates this almost like anxiety that cycles into manifesting like the flare
Yeah.
ups. So even if
Totally.
we can give an option that makes POTS patients feel like they have a leg up on whatever they're fearful of, I think that'll
Yeah.
make a huge difference.
Yeah. No, that is so true. I think with POTS, like you want to feel independent, but you also are aware that like this could happen at any
Mhm.
time. Um, that's great. And yeah, and I think I don't know. I think it's I really love I think you're right about the chronic illness community. It's hard because it's like love I mean, I would say most of my posts I really try to be positive. There are a couple days when I'm like, I just can't today.
Oh
Like
yeah, 100%.
like you know, and I think I try to show both sides, but yeah, I think it's I mean, if you had told me 4 years ago that I would be traveling and like I could walk on a treadmill, I would be like, no, there's no way.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it definitely if you do the stuff that's important, it can definitely get better,
Mhm.
which is something even doctors don't tell you. They just kind of send you on your way.
Yeah, that's like the other thing that I've really noticed was even when we went to present at this medical conference, and it was in front of a bunch of doctors, and it was really scary. But
Yeah,
like even after, there was like nurses that were coming up to us that said they had POTS and they were in healthcare and they still didn't like get the help they needed,
yeah,
which is easy to me that you could like literally be a doctor and still not be getting the care that like you should have.
yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law is a doctor and he was like in med school there's like a paragraph about it and that's all they teach you.
Mhm.
So it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird it's such a random condition, like because it affects so many parts of the body that I
Mhm.
think doctors are just like, I don't know what to
Yeah,
do. You kind of just
and
get passed around.
no offense to doctors, but like for doctors, I feel like that's the worst thing ever is like not
Yes.
understanding what's going on,
Yeah.
or like having an explanation for it. So I think that's where like a lot of, I guess, advice or like information falls short.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It would be nice if there was like a doctor who understood POTS as a whole, as like instead of being like, there's your heart specialist and then your GI. It's
Mhm.
just because then you get different information from everybody and it gets really
Yeah.
confusing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like, I guess even the way that like they treat it is kind of interesting, like from a cardiologist perspective, like you see the heart rate go up, but the reason the heart rate's going up is because all these other things are happening, and like
Yeah.
they'll just prescribe you a beta blocker that like might
Hmm.
help, but like it's addressing the last result of the symptom or like
Yes.
chain of things that's going on.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen like from my short experience in research, like most of the doctors that are most successful are the people that look at it as like a whole picture rather than
Yeah.
just like the section that they're super experienced on.
Yeah. I definitely feel like the people who've helped me the most have been people who, like my PT person, like some people who aren't necessarily, I guess, like MDs, like doctors, but like,
Mhm.
um, and it's weird. It's always people who either know someone who has POTS or has POTS that kind of does that.
Mhm.
But it is
Mhm.
frustrating that you're just kind of prescribed stuff when there really is stuff out there that you don't need to be on a pill for it that can make it so much better.
Yeah,
You have to know about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, just like the whole way that it's like this big puzzle that nobody's solved yet.
Yeah.
And I think that like aspect of it is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now is probably like a great time because there's so many cases of it popping up after COVID. So
Yeah.
hopefully now there's more studies or research that goes
Mhm.
into it. But um yeah, I'm as a POTS person to like see people care and it's really encouraging.
Mhm.
So I feel like, yeah, so from a POTS person to you, very like thank you. It's very nice to
Yeah.
have people listen and care about this.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's
Yeah.
like that's kind of like our biggest thing is we want to like although we want to expand as a company, we always want POTS to kind of be at the heart of what we're trying to do. So like even as we expand, like we've been talking to Dysautonomia International about like potentially doing a partnership with them. So I think
That's
like
awesome.
as we expand, we want to support the research as much as possible as well.
Yeah.
I think will set us apart as just like a company. I feel like there's too many companies in this world that just like take the money and
Yeah.
that's all they really care about rather than like making an impact. And I think
Yeah.
the real value is in the impact that you're able to make.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. It's very rare to hear that.
Pouch.com. Um,
Okay.
Probably gonna like redo the whole thing before we full launch in June
Yeah.
and like add a bunch of stuff to it just like based off of what we experienced. But
Yeah.
a lot of the information is on there.
Cool.
And our TikTok plus pouch is like kind of the social platform that we go through the most and have
Cool.
gotten the most interaction with.
Yeah.
Um, so we're staying pretty consistent on there. It's been a whirlwind through April. We've been at like three different pitch competitions in the last
Wow.
like 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
we're keeping up, but we're gonna have some cool content coming out because we got to
Cool.
vlog that whole road trip.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah,
That's way fun. Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.